digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Look, there's me on my own, disorganised as hell. But anyway, hi, good evening, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home of Tottenham, past and present, under an exciting future, and under. Can I just start again? Hang on. Let me come out and come in again. Right. Hi, welcome to THFC Till I Die, home of Tottenham, past, present, and exciting future under Thomas Frank as he takes us to glory as we go on to win our second bit of silverware in 17 years when we beat PSG in the Super Cup. And this is your transfer window roundup of the days, all the rumours, all the tippets around, all the little bits that you've seen in the paper, and we're going to talk about it. Just very quickly, the podcast has been moved from Thursday to Friday at 1 o'clock. So join me and Dave and Paul from Paul's new channel, which he does with Rhino on Friday. And then, of course, on Sunday at 10 o'clock Irish time, I think it's 5 o'clock American time, we have our first brand new podcast, Prem Football Till We Die. It's a new podcast where we talk all things Premier League, all things First Division. It's been shown live on here, also on Fifth Tier podcasts as well, and also on X, guys. So please do give that a watch. It really would mean a lot to us as we now get that up. The link for our Spotify account where we put up our podcast is in the description below as well, guys. So do hit that. Follow us on there. All podcasts will be going live up there. Not all normal shows like Newsbeat or anything won't be going up there, but just podcasts specifically. The Irish Lads Talk Spurs and Football Till We Die will be both going up onto that platform. So we may do a few. We may put up all our shows up there in the future, but at the moment, it's just the two podcasts. But how are we? And thank you all, guys, for joining in early, as we have Dan from Talk Forest TV when he came on and talked all things Morgan Gibbs White. That's now sort of trembling along. I reckon it will get done. Personally, I think he will be a Spurs player. I would say he might be a Spurs player by the weekend. He may be a Spurs player early next week, but I think he will end up at Tottenham. That's just my opinion. I haven't heard it from anyone else, but my opinion. But how are you guys? How are you this evening? And how are you? What are you up to? And let me know what you guys think. And this is a show for you. I'm solo. So I've got the bit of news I've put together, but the show's run by you guys. You put in your questions. What do you want to ask me? And what I might do is turn these shows once a week into a member show. So if you're a member, do get your memberships and you get to come on and we can have a bit of a panel. We can have a bit of a talk and we can talk all things Spurs, which is what we love doing. Big up to Rhino. He says, firstly, Rhino, I know you texted me the other day, man. I hope you're doing well. And I hope everything's okay with you. If you need to talk, you know where I am. You've got my number. WhatsApp me. I'm always there to talk to you. Big up to Ryan. He says, evening, Dermo. Hope you're well. Question, why is it taking so long for MGG? Look, it's not going to take long. I don't think so. I think Forest, because, look, I got told in the last couple of hours, and I've read it myself, that I read, actually, I'll give you what I was given a few minutes ago, that Forest thought they were going to sell Morgan Gibbs right to City because it was to go in the James McAtee was part of the deal to come to Forest. So Forest then, Tottenham somehow got hijacked the deal, find what the release clause was, paid the release clause, and then that scuppered that deal. So Forest now will have to pay more to get to James McAtee. Tottenham, I've read somewhere as well, are going to chase James McAtee as well. And there's also there's rumors going around that Tottenham are looking to go and get Harvey Elliott from Liverpool. Now, Harvey Elliott is 40 million plus a buyback clause or 50 million outright. Now, I know we at Spurs TV, we at Tottenham TV said this earlier today. I was watching a bit of Ben and Sim and they were talking about it. And I did see it around a few of the papers as well. Especially on X as well. So I want to know what you guys think on that. But look, for me, I just think it's just a bit of posturing. I think Forest have to be looked to act off. They're not going to be rolled over by a big six club. And look, they've already sold one of their main players to Newcastle last week, and to lose two before the start of the season doesn't look good. So look, it's going to get done, Ryan. So don't worry. He is going to be a Spurs player. I think it's just a bit of extra cash from Levy. I think just here's an extra 3 or 4 million on top of it, sweeten the deal, and I think that's what will happen, and he will become. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Big up to Giant 68 as well. Big up, Dermo and chat. Big up to you, Giant 68. Hope you're doing well. Have you seen the rumours leaking Garincha to Spurs? Yes, I have got that, and I will talk about that. It's in my little PDF of news, which I'm going to go over. Big up to Bill Wayne Bonner. Now, right. Right, I've got a drink tonight to sort this out, Wayne. Right, hang on. Right. Let's get ready. Right. Good evening, everyone. Nope, not there yet. I have to practice. Hope you're all well and having a good week. Yeah, big up to you, Wayne. Hope you're doing well. So we've got to get you back on the channel as well. It'd be great to see you. If Sonny stays, does Thomas Frank keep Sonny as captain? Well, Sonny is staying. And this is a question I want to ask you guys. Who does become captain? Who do you think will be captain? I would like Romero to be captain. And I tell you why I want Romero to captain. Look, I could be long enough. Look, I'm 48 years of age, so I remember Diego Maradona when he was a youngster. And Argentinians are hot-blooded anyway, and they're hot-tempered, and they will sort of stick the boot in. But when they give Maradona the captaincy of Argentina, and I think Napoli as well, it calmed him down. It made him sort of give him more responsibility, that he didn't have time to be aggressive or to be Latin hot-tempered. And it sort of let him concentrate on his game, because we all know Diego Maradona become probably one of the greatest players in the world. Now, if you're an English fan, you'll probably think it's the devil reincarnated, because of what happened in '86. And I know Wayne knows what I'm talking about. And look, these things happen in football. That sort of goal happens a lot in South American football. Rightly or wrongly, the goal should have been chalked off. It should never have been a goal. But you can't take away his second goal, which was, I would recommend anyone under the age of 30, in their 20s, please put Diego Maradona's second goal, 1986, into YouTube. Probably the greatest World Cup goal you're ever likely to see. So for me, it would be Romero, but I want to know what you guys think. You put it in chat. Let me know what you think. I don't think Sonny's captain material. I think Romero, who else? Bentancur, who I think is captain for his national side for Uruguay as well, I think. Who else? I don't think James Madison's captain material either. Vicario. I know goalkeepers are not great captains, and look, I prefer an outfield player to be a captain, but I think Vicario's got that captain sort of material about him. But yeah, there would be my three. Big up to Rhino. Dermo, I would jump on Friday. I have to move forwards. So if that's okay, I need it. Yeah, no problem, Rhino. Absolutely no problem. Yeah, that's fine. That is no problem. That is no problem. I would love to have you on and talk football. Just give it 2 minutes. I'm just seeing I might have got a message here. Let me just sorry, just give us 2 minutes. So yeah. That's good. Big up to Wayne. Did Man City know the release clause? Do you know what? I would love to know that. I wonder if they did, you know. I wonder if they did. And Spurs said, no, come on. I don't know. I haven't read anywhere did Man City know the release clause, Wayne, but it's a good question. And all this, right, I think Man City, I think Forest are actually, look, we had the Dan on today from Forest, and, you know, I can understand the Forest chairman what he's doing because he's trying to protect his own club. He's trying to protect Forest and trying to say, we're not going to be bowed down to a big six club. I get it. I do get it. But I would love to know. I would love to know if they did know the release clause, because if they did, then I would. If they knew the release clause and you were Morgan Gibbs, right, where would you want to go? Would you want to go to a team where you're going to sit in your ass for probably the majority of your career and get 250,000 pound a week? Or do you want to come to a club where you are going to get game time? You are going to get time to play your football. So you're looking at, as Dan said today, 3 or 4 games a month. Plus you've got Champions League football. I know Man City are in the Champions League, but I don't think Man City are in the way down. I think they're in transition. I don't think they're going to be this force this season. I think they will be around the top 5. Of course they will be. But I just don't think they're going to be good enough. And I just think Morgan Gibbs, right, has looked at the situation. He said, right, do you know what? I can go to Man City, but I'm going to Spurs. I've got more chance of getting games at Tottenham. And you look at Jack Grealish as well, Wayne, and everyone. Jack Grealish, Man City paid £100 million buyout clause. Now, Jim White said this on his show the other day, and he rang up Aston Villa and he said, what are you talking about? There's no buyout clause in. He's not going for 100 million. Don't worry about it. He's staying where he is. And and he went to Man City, and I think they've ruined him as a footballer. I don't know what you guys think, but I think if Jack Grealish comes to Tottenham, I think he reinvents himself. But it's hard to know if City knew the release clause. It is hard to know. And if Forest are getting a player they want in return, I'm sure there was some sort of a deal being struck. But, you know, Tottenham have come in, right, bang, we want the player. We're paying the 60 million. However they got the information, however they got to know about the release clause. And I'm sure it would be either the agent of Gibbs Wright telling the Spurs, well, look, this is the release clause. This is what Man City are offering. But if you offer this for my player, that will get him. And Tottenham said, grand, we're paid 60 million. And that has to be paid up front. There's no 30 million this year or 30 million next year. It has to pay lump sum 60 million up front. So I think that's what Tottenham did, that Daniel Levy did. And as I said at the time, I said it, I think, the other day, that it's very unlike Levy to pay money up front. But look, it is what it is. Good up to John. Give Forest another 3 or 4 million. I think that's what Spurs would do in the end. And a friendly at the Amoco Arena next year. Yeah, the naming rights is getting very close, guys. I had a message this morning that I can't tell you exactly what was said, but there's more than meets the eye with this naming rights, and there's always more. If you look at the Manchester City naming rights, there was more to that. So does that mean that they've come in and say, right, we're going to give you the naming rights, but we want the football side of the club. So I think that's where we're heading for it. Look, I could be totally wrong. I've had no more information, but hopefully that is what is happening. Big up to Giant Romero for captain. Yeah, me too. I think Romero should be captain. Big up to Jono. Big up Jono. Can't take it away from Son. Do you know, I don't know what you see. Look, I know Sonny's captain for South Korea, and he does inspire players in a different way. I think there's different ways of being a captain. There's different ways of inspiring players on the pitch, I suppose. And when you're in a deep hole, inspiring the players to find the extra 10% or the extra gear to get out of it. I don't think Sonny has that mentality to shout at a player or rollick a player if he's not doing his job correctly. I don't think that's in Sonny. I think Sonny's too nice. But I do feel that, I know what you're saying, you shouldn't take it away from him, but I do feel a new captain is needed. New manager, new leadership group. I really do. But keep Sonny within that leadership group. Keep him within there. And I just don't think that, I think a change is better than keeping it as it is. But that's just my opinion. Everyone is entitled. And I get what you say, don't take it away from Sonny. I do understand that. Big up to Anthony Lynch. Good evening. Greetings from West Cork. Big up to you, Anthony. Hope you do well. Latest show, evening to all watching. Big up. And what's the weather like in West Cork today? It's been nice here in Wexford. Bit rainy, bit cloudy. But let us know what it's like in West Cork. Big up to Tequila as well. Big up, lads. Big up Tequila. And thanks for joining me earlier when we had Dan from Talk Forest TV on. Really enjoyed that. And guys, do give that a watch. It was a really good show. Really enjoyed it, talking to him, and he was giving us some good insight to how the Forest fans are feeling at the moment, and a lot of them are very angry with Morgan Gibbs-White. Big up to Ryan. He's the new Daniel Levy because he wants more money for Morgan Gibbs-White. Well, look, sorry about this. Look, everyone's going to want more money for their player. Of course they are. It's common sense that you want to get the best value for the product that you have. It doesn't matter if it's a footballer or you're selling a product in the streets or selling a product in the shop. You want to make enough money on your investment. Now, of course, they paid, I think, was 24 million for him when he came to Forest. So, of course, they're going to want to make as much as they can out of it to invest into new players. I've got no problem with that. I really don't. I think what's got me and what's angered, I think, a lot of Spurs fans and probably a lot of football fans in general is the way that he's going about it. I mean, we all know tapping up happens in all sorts of life, in business, in sport. Of course, it does. You'd be naive to think it doesn't happen in the wider world. Of course, it does. So, look, tapping up happens in Formula One. I love Formula One as well, and tapping up happens in that every bloody race. Every time, do you want to come and drive for me? I can offer you this deal, and I don't know what I was going to say now. And it happens in business as well. It's like if you're working, say, for Lloyd's, and you've been tapped up by another major company, of course you're going to be tapped up. So tapping up happens around the world, and it happens in football. It's been happening in football since the day football was created. So I'm sure Forest have tapped up other players as well. They've tapped up. They've done it themselves. So I don't know what he's arguing about. If the release clause has been met by law, they have to respect that, because then they're breaking the contract of Morgan Gibbs White. So Morgan Gibbs White can turn around and say, right, I'm suing you for you not releasing me from my contract. The price has been met. I'm allowed to go down to this other club, and I'm allowed to go and pursue my career. So I think, look, I think it will be sorted out. I think it will be done, and I think it'll be done by next week. I really do. I think over the weekend there was some compromise or some sort of incentive that for him to be happy with it. But we'll have to wait and see. Big up to Anthony. He says, Dermo, any news regarding the 6 or Richarlison exit? Yes, I've got a little bit on Richarlison. It's coming in the PDFs. On the 6, not yet. I'm waiting for a major update from a source, from the people I use. So hopefully we're woken up everyone saying to everyone, he's a traitor. No thanks, Dermo. Well, there's Gerard. He doesn't want Gibbs White coming to the club. Cheers. Thanks a lot, Ryan. You're very smash the likes. Come on, 19 people, 8 likes. Come on, we can do better than that. Big up to Linfield 1, Sherburn 1 is the latest. Or is that in the Champions League or the Europa League, Gerard? Would you let me know on that? Spurs won't give Forest another penny. Spurs fans are the only people who are panicking. Just calm down. Spurs, I know they haven't broken any rules, David. Look, I know I'm not panicking. It's going to happen. It's going to be a Spurs player at the end of the day. So, we just have to dance the dance, as they say. So I haven't broken any rules or laws. Spurs didn't sign a non-disclosure clause, so are clear. Yep, that's so true. We've got Anthony. Weather extremely poor, heavy downpours, very humid. Getting ready for the All-Ireland final to tip. Cork versus Tip on Sunday, so Europa League and All-Ireland wins would be perfect. Yeah, I wish my county could win something. Wexford, we never win anything. And as for football, my other county, Mayo, we just haven't won anything since 1951. So yeah, I would love my county to win something. That would have been a good year. But look, Spurs winning the Europa League will do me lovely. Big up to the real N7 year. Big up, Lewis. Hope you do. MGW is only worth 65 million at best. Any more than that, drop out. Do you know what? I think you're spot on with that. Demo, is it okay to put mine and Paul's link in the channel? If not, it's okay. Yeah, if you want. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you can. Yeah, okay, Ryan, if you want. Yeah, fine. Tapping up everyone. I was about to sign Mears Jaffa Cakes 10 kilos contract per show. Dermo came in, offered me 15. I was, yeah, see, I tapped even tequila up. That's funny. I like that. It's totally irrelevant that Man City are putting the bid as 80 million, which included McAteer going to Forest, but Gibb White didn't want Man City. It's not tapping up if your contract. Yeah. Look, the agent, Tottenham have gone to the agent. Look, how much is he worth? Well, if you bid 60, that will get him. Tottenham have bid 60. Should Levy have gone in with 62 million? Maybe. Should he have gone in a little bit under? Maybe. But look, for me, I don't think Spurs have done anything wrong. I agree with you, David. Really do. Hope you're good, Dermot. I had my plaster off today. Next week, stitch it up. Well, good, Mick. Hope you and your missus are okay and your family's okay. Great to hear that your hand's getting better. Spurs apparently want 55 million for Richarlison. They have no chance of getting more than 30. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, David. So you're ahead of me on that. Big up to you, sir. That's in the Champions League demo. That must be the first qualifying round then. 35 minutes played. Well, come on, Shelburne. Get going. Right, guys, this is the news. And of course, we are going to start with Gibbs White. How Tottenham are actually feeling about the chances of signing Gibbs White. This is from the boot room. Gibbs White for Nottingham Forest. As TBR Football exclusively revealed Monday, Gibbs White told Forest he wants to join Tottenham after returning to the Nigel Doherty Academy. Now, I was given this morning, guys. Please excuse me. I'm going to have to read this off because it is. I haven't had time to I haven't had time to sort of copy and paste it. So, look, the situation so far, if we're going to wrap this up in one little bow, right? Tottenham Hotspur activated what they believed is a 60 million release clause in Gibbs' White contract. The player reportedly agreed personal terms and was scheduled to undergo medical with Spurs last week. However, Forest, as we do know now, claimed no valid clause exit at that figure, accusing Tottenham of legal approach and breach of confidentiality during talks. In response, Forest have lodged a formal complaint with the Premier League, which they haven't. Well, I don't have to have now. With the Premier League, and all talks between clubs have been suspended. Current state is this: Morgan White has returned to Nottingham Forest pre-season and remains officially a Forest player. Tottenham remain confident the deal can still be completed once the legal situation is resolved. The player is understood to be keen on the move to Spurs, who offer Champions League football and a big wage increase. The next steps. Spurs choose to offer additional compensation to settle the dispute amicably, well, politely. If the case drags on, Tottenham could wait until late in the transfer window or explore in turn of targets. So basically, a summary: Tottenham and the player have agreed personal terms. Forest dispute the existence of the release clause at 60 million. Legal proceedings are ongoing between the clubs. Transfer remains slightly, but is delayed and not yet confirmed. I do you know what? And also I've read today somewhere as well that he has put in a transfer request. So look, I don't think we should panic about this. I really don't. I think we should just relax, chill out, take a chill pill, and he will be a Spurs player before you know it. Do you know the transfer window is open to the end of August. So, do you know, to be fair, I think he will be a Spurs player. Just to finish up on Gibb, right? I did, David. It was the most funniest bit of picture. How do you know he turns up in white top and blue shorts, Tottenham colours, right? It is funny. Yeah, if that doesn't tell you what Gibbs White wants to be, then yeah, exactly. Absolutely, exactly. Also the transfer latest, of course, again, Morgan Gibbs. Now, this was the other bit as well, where Morgan Gibbs could sue Nottingham Forest. And it says Morgan Gibbs White has release clause, meaning he has contracted right to leave that club if a bid of that amount comes in which it did. So Forest are now actively ignoring terms of his contract and not letting him leave. They are legal ones here. So they're breaking their own law. They're breaking the law as well. So Gibbs White can turn around and say, right, I'm going to sue you, Nottingham Forest, for not letting me go, not respecting my contract. So I look, whatever's said and done, I agree with David. He's going to turn up at Tottenham. He will be a Spurs player. I don't think in any way, shape, or form he's going anywhere else bar Tottenham. So let's look. Let's not all get, oh, he's not coming. He's not coming. I think he is coming, and he will be here. As David said, Tottenham striker in transfer talks as record signing edges closer. Report Tottenham are said to be demanding a fee of 55 million, something the Brazilians believe they can get near following their recent prize money from the Club World Cup. It would smash their 25 million they spent on Vitor Pereira in January. This is a Brazilian side. I think they Parmalis. I can't, if I murdered that, I'm sorry. And also they're offering Richarlison guaranteed first team football with the World Cup coming up the end of next season. So do you know? I think it'd be sad to see him go because I like Richarlison, I really do. But I think, look, I said it when he joined. Richarlison was a big fish in a small pond at Everton. He came to Tottenham, and then he became a small fish in a big pond. He got all these injuries one after the other. Never really got a bit of consistent game time in his legs. So look, I'd be sad to see him go. I like him. I think he's very. I love Richarlison. I love his shithousery. That's what I love about him. He's a talented player, but he needs first team football. And if he wants to be in that Brazilian squad for the World Cup in 2026, then look, I think he'll have to take it. And if somebody obviously say 50 million for him, what, we're losing 10 million because we spent 60. Was it 50 we paid for him? I think 50. So you're sort of getting your money back. But yeah, I think, look, we need another striker. Absolutely assured we need another striker. But I don't think Richarlison is that man. But look, I'm sure I'm sure if he stays here at Tottenham, he'll give 100%. But I just think we can do better than him. But that's the way it goes, doesn't it? You don't always, every move doesn't always work out. I'm sure when he moved to Tottenham, he thought it'd be a great success. But that's the way it goes, sadly. Now, this is from hardtackle.com. Tottenham, West Ham United make move to sign Coney D. Winter. Now, I do apologize about the bottom bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into where I designed the thumb PDF and actually read out. I do apologize. I picked the wrong color and I didn't realize until about 2 minutes ago. So let me tell you exactly what is there. So let me get there. Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United are reportedly interested in signing the 23-year-old Belgium centre-back Keone D. Winter from Serie A club Genoa this summer. Now, there's a lot of people saying he could be a replacement for Christian Romero. They reckon he's a very good player, a very good defender. I think, look, I think we've got enough defenders as it is at the moment. I don't think we need any more. I think we do need is a number 6. I think it, well, there's a question then again. Do you move Romero into the number 6 role? So I just do, look, for me, I think Romero make a great number 6. But look, I think we've got enough defenders. I think we need to concentrate on the 6 and the striker and probably midfielder. But if you bring in sort of Gibbs White, we're after Harvey Elliott as well. There's rumors that we want him to come to the club. As I said, for Harvey Elliott, it's 40 million plus a buyback clause or 50 million outright to keep the player permanently. I think I just think we've had enough centre backs. But look, what do I know? Other people, I'm going to go into the chat and see what you guys think, and let me know. Yeah, we had a club announcement today. Yay! Love these club announcements. Was it for a player? No. Hang on, I'll be back in 1 minute. Sorry about that. Yeah, Tottenham have made an announcement with partner beers Molson Coors. Tottenham Hotspur is delighted to announce long-term partnership with the Molson Coors beverage company. Bring in Preavia and its range of beers and ciders. Brilliant to bring in ciders to Tottenham. Grand. I'm there. As long as they're bringing ciders, I am there. To fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium from 25-26 season onwards. Well, about time, because every time I go to Tottenham, I can never get a cider. They're selling lager, and I don't like lager. I like cider. And now they're going to sell cider at Tottenham. Lovely jubbly. I am there all the way. This is from Hotspur HQ as well. This is about Wharton as well. Tottenham are taking the classic Danny Levy approach with Adam Wharton transfer. However, according to a report from the Boot Room Football, Graham Bailey and Jamie Brown, Crystal Palace want £100 million in order to sell Wharton. Is he worth that? Is he worth £100 million, guys? Is he worth that? I don't think he is. I really don't think he is worth 100 million, but probably 80 million. Would you say, guys? Say put in the put 80 million plus 20 million in add-ons. Do you know? What do you reckon? Would that get the deal done? I'd love Wharton at Tottenham. I really would. Also, the Express have saying that Tottenham are eyeing a Man United star in a shock move, as Amaron has already given answer. Tottenham are weighing up a surprise move for Grincio, who looks set to depart Manchester United this summer. Um, would is he a player you would like at Spurs? I think he's a bit. Look, I hear a lot from Colin and Kevin that no, I'm trying not to put words in their mouth, but I think the impression I'm getting, they find him a bit lazy. He's a bit of a lazy player. Um, I think Thomas Frank could get a tune out of him. I do. I've always liked him. I always thought, he might fit a Tottenham system better. But again, Man United are going to want big money from, and I know we're spending at the moment, but we're not going to spend stupidly either. So it's another thing. How much would you pay for Grancher? I mean, are you looking at 40, 50 million, 30 million? It's hard to know, but would he do a job at Spurs? I think he would. Personally, I think he would do a job at Spurs. I think Thomas Frank could get a tune out of him. But look, what am I to know? But let me know what you guys think in the chat. But that was the Express anyway. Right, of course, game details. We are playing Reading on Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff at the Select Car Leeson Stadium. And how you can watch the game, you can watch it here on THFC Till We Die. We will be covering it. But also you can watch it, turn the commentary down, and have me on in the background as I bring you through the game. How to watch it on Spurs Play or Royals TV. So either will be shown live on there. Injured players, of course, Dragoson and Kulu will not be available. They're still coming back from injury. This is the predicted lineup that I've picked. So I've gone with Kingsky. Let me know, guys, if you agree or disagree with this. I've gone with Kingsky in goal. I've gone with a back four of Jess Spence, Christian Romero, Ashley Phillips, and Udogi. I've gone with a midfield three of Bergfield, Gray, and Saar. And then up front, the front three, I've gone with Kudu, Solanke, and Tell. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree. Look, this might not be their predicted lineup, but I was looking at it today and I thought I might see this as a team might put down. I know I've started with a 4-3-3. Now that may change. He might start with three at the back, play a 3-5-2. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree with that lineup or not. Let's see, and that's about it. So let me go through the chat and then we'll end off there. Big up to Tequila. He says, I want to be greedy, so I will be. Oh yeah, that's it, because he says, why can't we have him and Romero? We could do, but you're gonna leave yourself with a load of centre backs there, very heavily. So two will probably go out on loan. Ashley Phillips will probably go out on loan. With the young Vacevic, will he go out on loan again? Who knows? But you can't have. I think you have to balance it out, right? Big up Jazz Fusions. Greetings all. Have we sold anyone yet? No, we haven't actually. To be fair. Big up to the Beast of TH as well. Good evening, Dermot. Big up, Beast. Hope you're doing well. Didn't see you coming in. And also, big up to HOTSPUR Hub. Big up to you. Mayor of London, Sir Khan, has finally approved a controversial plan by Tottenham Hotspur to fence off part of Whispery Park and build a women's football academy. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. Look, I think it's great they want to build a women's football academy for the women. For the girls, I think that's a great idea. I think it's something that we should do. We should encourage it. We should get behind as well. They are Tottenham players, so we should support them as much as we support the boys and the lads. We should support the girls as well. So look, I'm sure people around there know a lot more than I do, but I think it's a good thing. I really do. We're going to oh yeah, here's the key. They're going to be a long season. We need at least 5 first-team centre-backs, 7 if Frank goes 3 at the back. That's true as well, Tequila. It depends how Frank is going to set up. Big up to Jazz. Heard you might order a plate of gun. Jazz, yeah. I don't know what, Jazz. I would like him at Spurs. I might be the only one, but I think he might do a job for us at Tottenham. A lot of people may disagree with that. Big up David. You move Romero and the number 6 role. He would put in a transfer request immediately because he cares more about his centre back role for Argentina. He would never put that at risk. Behave yourself. Look, it was only putting it out there, David. I wasn't saying put him there. I was just putting the thought out there. I just think he could do a role as a number 6 as well. Just putting it out there. Big up Anthony. Get rid of Dragoson, bring in De Winter. That's an upgrade straight away. It is. De Winter is an absolute baller of a player. I think he'd be a great asset for Spurs. Jazz Fish, Sturmut, Spurs Insider. Yeah, very happy with that. Big up Hotspur Hub said Adam Morton is injury prone and worth 50 million. Do you know, it's a fair point. I'm sure there want to be add-ons in there, but yeah, 50 million plus add-ons. That's not a bad deal. Big up to Beast of TH. We won't pay any more than 60 million for Walton, 30 million for Garencho. His form is dipped too much to pay more. That's fair enough. United will want Mamumbo money. Yeah, that is the problem. United haven't got the money, so I don't think they're as bad, I think, as being reported, but I think Manchester United do need extra transfer funds. And this Memembo deal has been going on for so long now. It's really stretched into the window. It's like the Eze deal as well. All that's gone quiet. So it's very interesting where he might end up. I think he will still end up at Manchester United, but it's about United getting the structure of the deal right. But it's taken them so long to do it, though. It's ridiculous, really. This is where agents get stuck in, and when agents get involved in it and they want their cut out of it, they want more money because they know they're going to get a bigger percentage out of it. Big up Dave Cock. Grancho has more luggage than an airport turntable. He's toxic. We don't need that. Fair enough. Anthony Leach, Gray won't start, just back in pre-season after playing in Euros. Do you know what? I think he might, you know. As I said, it's a predicted lineup, Anthony, so it might be a bit different. But look, I'll go over it again with Steve over the weekend on Friday, before the game on Saturday. So look, it might be a talking point, but might make a few more changes. B-Savid don't want Gray in the 6th role. Okay, so where would you like him to play? He is a number 6 that's what we bought him for from Leeds. But that's interesting. Okay, let me know where you'd like him to play. David Clark says, don't like to be blunt, but sorry, that midfield is No, it's a predicted lineup, David. It's one that I found on the Express, and I looked at it, I thought, do you know what? I'll run with it. It doesn't mean it's gonna be the side that turns out. That's what predicted lineups are like. I agree the midfield does need strengthening. But do you know, are you going to risk your really important first team players for a game against Reading? Don't forget we've got Luton the following week, and then a couple of days later we've got Arsenal, we've got Newcastle, we've got Bayern Munich, and then we've got the Super League. So why not run out the players that may not get all first team football, lot of first team football next season, that are going to be their squad players? So, do you know, I think it's the right thing. But as I said, as I said earlier, it's a predicted lineup that I saw, and I thought I'd run with it. So I'd be interested in what you guys think. We are Spurs TV. Big up, good stream earlier. Thank you so much. We are Spurs. Yeah, Dan's a great lad, and it was really interesting speaking to him. But big up. He also says any hot Tottenham Hotspur lady fans can tap me up whenever they want. I may be Greek, but I promise I won't sue. You bugger. Very funny. We've got January and specifically David. Yeah, David was straight to the point there. Gerard says Lingfield from Northern Ireland 1, Shells from Ireland 1. So that's heating up nicely. David says, I don't think Spurs need to buy the girls that are capable of playing in the Women's Super League, Premier League, but rewarding them within the academy. No, I think they will. I think they should. I will disagree with you on this. I think they should. And I also think that if the academy is there to bring in the young girls that are starting playing football now and nurture them and bring them into through the club, yeah, I think they should, and I think it's the right thing to do. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Absolutely no problem. If you can do it for the lads, if you can do it for the men's side, why can we not do the same thing for the women's side? What's the difference, David? There's no difference whatsoever. They both play for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. They're both Tottenham players. And I think what's good for one is good for the other. And if we've got an academy then to bring the young talent through and the young lads through, then we should have an academy to bring the young girls through as well and get them. And some of them may not make it. We all know that. But the cream will rise to the top and they'll become into the first team. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. And I think it's the right thing to do. And I think Tottenham are doing the right thing. And look, I get what you're saying, but I do slightly disagree in what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I get your point. What's the point? It's just laughing. That's all he's doing. He's just fell on the floor, laughing, running around like a hyena. We got Manure. Yeah, big up, Gerald. We've got Lewis. Do you think we try? Do you think we try and get rid of Romero, as I can see him leaving on the free? I don't see Romero going. If he can see we're trying to put our best foot forward and we're trying to compete on all levels, I don't see Romero. I don't see Romero leaving. I don't see. I see him signing a new contract and staying. I think he wants to see Tottenham moving on to the next level. I really do, and I think he wants to see progression. He wants to see us moving forward. So yeah, I do think so. I don't see him leaving on the fee. I think if Tottenham signed a new contract, I think they will put a hefty buyout clause in there, and I think they'll do the same with him, like they did with Harry Kane. Let's take Memembo. That's never going to happen, Ryan. He's United. He wants to go to United. He says he's already stated he doesn't want to go into any other club. Bar Manchester United. And look, how nice it would be to get him. I can't see him coming. Now, Wazza's not coming either. I've been told he's not coming to Spurs this summer either. So, look, it's a shame. I would have loved to see, and probably we all would love to see them two players follow Thomas Frank to Tottenham, but it's not going to happen, Ryan. But you never know. Football's football. Funny thing. It's a funny old game, and things have happened. We are Spurs TV. Gray got thrown to the Wolves when Ange played them as a six versus Liverpool. Well, that Liverpool team was so good. We are Spurs TV. I mean, any player will get thrown to the Wolves. Anthony Lynch. I would love to see Luka Vajovic getting into the first team. He is Anthony. I love him. Nobody in the Spurs podcast world has proven to me that Gray's the number 6. Well, we might have to prove you wrong this season then, David. He played in that role for Leeds. People seem to forget that. He was a number 6 for Leeds. And that's why we bought him. Look, just because we haven't seen him play there, and as Anthony said, as we are Spurs, he got thrown to the Wolves with Ange. Ange plays a very attacking football. Thomas Frank is a bit more defensive. So you may see the best out of Archie Gray this season. And look, I get what you're saying, but I just hope he proves everyone wrong that he is a talented number 6. He played there for Leeds, and he's proved he can play there. Liverpool are a complete different outfit altogether. So you're going to play him there, anywhere there, anyone's going to get rolled over. But I just think everyone dissing Gray as a number 6, that he's not good enough to play there. I think you're very wrong. I do feel that he will prove a lot of people wrong this season and show this is why, this is my position. We were all shouting for him last season to play as a number 6. That's his natural role. And just to say that nobody in the Spurs podcast world has proven to me that Gray's number 6, well, look how he played at Leeds. He played there as a number 6. That's why we bought him. Just because he's had to play in centre-back, just because he had to play in the fullback roles, just because he's had to play in different positions because of Ange and because of our injury crisis, he's had to play in different positions. He is a number 6, and I think he might prove a few people wrong. I don't understand these numbers roles, but I would play Gray in the right side of midfield 3. That's a very good idea. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would too. Best of Heat TV says, would you be happy if do you know what? I would love to get Harvey Elliott. I really would. I think Harvey Elliott is a very good midfielder. I really do. And I said, I saw the lads talking about it on We Are Tottenham TV saying that I forget who who actually said it, that who was the reporter or where it was on X, that Spurs, Liverpool are looking for 40 million with a buyback clause or 50 million outright. I would love to see Elliot at Tottenham. I've always liked him as a player, and he played well at the under-21 tournament as well, by the way. I know England won that. Congratulations for them to win in that tournament. I think Harvey Elliott was one of the best players actually in that tournament. David says Spurs ladies are nowhere near good enough. Well, nobody's saying they are good enough, and they're playing the W Super League. Yet they have resigned. Their ex-players have felt. Look, everyone can have a bad season, David. We had a woeful season on the men's side. Yeah, we won the Europa League, but if you look at our Premier League side, Premier League football, it was woeful. So nobody played well. But they're growing. They're growing. The women's side is growing. It's going to take time for them to find their feet and bed in and put down roots that Tottenham ladies can compete at the high level. And they've got a new manager. They've brought in a couple of players as well to bolster their squad. And I think Tottenham ladies may surprise a few people this season. I really do. And look, I'm going to give them all my support. I'll support the women's side as much as the men's side. And look, the men's side were woeful. The women's side were woeful. Nobody was good. League form, we were woeful. We won a European trophy. Brilliant. That's great. But we played a very poor Manchester United side as well. But we won that trophy, and I'm over the moon with European champions, and I'm still buzzing off it even now. But I do feel if you get the setup right on the women's side of the game, I think they can quite easily compete in the Women's Super League and actually build on that. And I think it's all about getting the right investment in that as well. And it's about people coming in, whoever's going to buy the club, whoever's going to take the club over. Yeah, invest in the men's side, but also you've got to equally invest in the women's side as well. So each of them are brought up side by side. And I think it's got to be done. I'll be very interested to see how the women do this year. And I'll be keeping a very close eye on the women's game. And I will be giving you updates during the season, guys, on the Women's Super League as well. And also any of the big games we will be covering, Tottenham, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool. Of course, we will be covering here. We've got Tequila says, not 9 p.m. yet, but Harvey had a very good prospect. Yeah, it is Tequila. Absolutely. Big up to Colin. Haven't seen you for a long time. How's my Welsh cousin, Celtic cousin? How are you feeling, Dermo? You're looking great, mate. Well, firstly, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say. Yeah, I'm feeling a hell of a lot better than I did the last couple of weeks. Yeah, as you well know, I was in hospital with my ticker. Had a stent put in my left side there last week. But yeah, I'm feeling a hell of a lot better now. Still feeling a bit tired, but I'm getting there. And I also getting back streaming as well has helped me a hell of a lot, and getting back doing what I love doing, which is talking Tottenham. So yeah, great to see you, Colin. Absolutely fantastic. Rhino coming in as well. Dermo, I'm so excited for Thomas the Frank engine. I reckon do you know what, right? Please take this to how it's meant, right? I reckon you were a secret Ange lover. I reckon deep down in the depths of night, when you were lying there dreaming about Tottenham, you're going, do you know what, Ange? You're not bad. I'm joking, Rhino. I know you didn't like it. I'm joking. I could see him probably chucking stuff at the TV now. Chucking popcorn or something at the TV. Do you know what? I think he pulls away. I think it pulls away on Saturday, and it's Frank B watching PSF. I hope he has. I say they will do the due diligence on PSG. They've been woeful. They really have. Look, I am excited, Thomas Frank, but get behind the new manager. Of course we do. I'd be grateful for Ange for what he done. He won us a trophy, and he won us our first European trophy in 1984. People seem to forget, and I'm running on this sort of wavelength, right? We won the Europa League and UEFA Cup in 1984. Now, older fans may remember this, right? Younger fans may not know this. But in the 84-85 season, we pushed Everton, who were then a very big club. Everton are a big club, but they're a very successful club in the 80s. We pushed them all the way to the league title. I think it was about 5 games left that we sort of faltered, but we finished third that season and we pushed them all the way. Look, I'm not saying history is going to repeat itself. Of course, I'm not. But I'm just saying success does build off what you've achieved. And Thomas Frank has said, I want to stand on the shoulders of the people that were successful before me. Ange Postecoglou was successful. He wants to stand on the foundations that Ange built. He built the foundation. He built the house. It's time for Thomas Frank to put the furniture in that house and put more trophies in that trophy cabinet. First trophy we can get is the European UEFA Super Cup against PSG. Yes, we will win that. So look, I'm very much excited by it right now. I am. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Tottenham are back on Saturday, and I cannot wait to get back to watch along and doing match day stuff. The summer is... Look, I've enjoyed my holidays. I've enjoyed my time off with Mrs. Tron. And we've had a lovely holiday. I had the last couple of weeks because of my health. But I just want to get back to work now. I want to get back to doing what I do best, which is talking football and talking Tottenham with you guys. So I'm glad to be back. Big up to Gerard Dermo and your liver memory. Who was the worst striker we ever had? Oh, Jesus. Worst striker we ever had. Do you know what? I'd have to go probably for the Russian striker that we had. I forget his name. I think it was Ponochchenko. I think something like that. Yeah, I think him. I would go for him. No, he wasn't a number 6 for Leeds. 42 games played, right back 20. Well, he did play the 6 as well, David. I did watch Leeds a few times, so I know you think I talk a load of rubbish most of the times, and I respect that. But no, he did play for number 6, and he is a number 6 player. I'll stand by that. But look, everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I respect that. Big up to Colin. I think George Abbott could be a surprise for us this year. That's a very good shout, Colin. George Abbott could be a big surprise. Yeah, I agree with you. He could be. I think it's time that I think it's time that we start using the youngsters now and start bringing them in to the first team. I really do. I really do. Big up to Shawnee Maddox. Big up, Shawnee. Hope you're doing well. Shawnee, we've got to get you on a show as well, sir. Probably over the weekend. Let me know when you're free. WhatsApp me and let me know your availability, and we'll get you on over the weekend. Big up, Dermot. Big up to you. Paulinho, 30 or 40 million. Deji 6, Prem proven. Exactly. I agree with you. Any breaking news? I've been in meetings all day long. Not really. Apart from we have had one announcement that Tottenham have signed an announcement with a cider company to bring cider into Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. So I could then go to a game, which I'm going to the Man United game, by the way. I'm really looking forward to that. And have a pint of cider at the stadium. There you go. That's what I'm having. Big up, Shawnee. Lewis says Graham Bergville should be integrated into the first team this season. It would be a perfect as they can get into Frank's style of football. Do you know what? I think you will see a lot more Bergville and Gray this season. I think that's why they might start them Saturday, get them in, and start using the youngsters, isn't it? It's start right. We want to build we've got all this youth, we've got all these young players, proven talents that have won a European trophy. Right, let's build on this. And I think you're right, Lewis. I think you're spot on there. Is Elliot better than our youngsters? I'm not really convinced. Yeah, I thought Elliot had a very good under-21 tournament for England. I really did. And I think he's played well for Liverpool. I've been impressed with him when he has played well for Liverpool. Is he better than any of our youngsters? Do you know what? I don't think he's as good as Bergville. We might be on the same par as Bergville. But look, Elliot's, years of Premier League. He's already had a few more years than Bergville in the Premier League. And I think if Elliot wants first team football, why not buy him? I think it'd be silly not to buy him. I would love to see him at Tottenham. I like watching these youngsters that are Premier League proven. They've played at big clubs and they come with mentality, a winning mentality that robs off on other players. I think that's what you need to bring in to the team. You need to bring in winners. You need to bring in players that have won trophies, won competitions, and that breeds winning through the camp. Yes, we've won a Europa League, and Steve Perriman always said, once you win your first trophy, you're halfway there of winning your second trophy. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? You've got to build on that success. You've got to bring in players that have won, that have got that winning mentality. So look, is he as good as any than our youngsters? I say he's there and thereabouts, but he's got that winning mentality, and that's what you need to look for. Big up to Sean. He says, I like more at the academy, improving club train numbers. Yeah, I agree. That clause has spammed the Elliott deal, but Klopp and Red Bull Leipzig are ready to pounce once the financial parameters are set. I would say Klopp would jump on Elliott completely. I agree with that. And I think, look, I'm a big fan of Red Bull Leipzig. I really am. And I like that. I've always followed them in the Champions League. So this in Europe, always follow Leipzig as one of the other teams. Didn't watch the women's team win a trophy or get didn't no, they didn't. But look, we're football fans. We just look, this is what really gets me, right? And this is my whole position on it and how I feel. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. They're playing for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. End of. So they need our support. Either it's the women's side or the men's side. And it doesn't matter. You look at other clubs where the women's side are successful. Arsenal women won the Champions League last season, beating Barcelona in the final. You know, they've invested within the women's side of the game, and we need to do that at Tottenham. And we haven't even invested in the men's side, let alone the women's side. So whoever's going to come in and take this club on from Levy and Enoch, they need to invest in the women's side as well as the men's side, so we can be successful on both fronts. Because that then brings, if you're successful on both fronts, that brings in more investment into the team, into the club itself. And I do believe I'm going to get behind the girls this year. I don't know. I watch a little bit of women's football. I haven't watched any of the women's European Championships because Ireland ain't there. And to be fair, if Ireland were there, we win the whole damn thing because Ireland's the greatest team in the world. The women are. The men are hopelessly crap, but the women are. But, you know, the men are getting there. We could qualify for the World Cup. We've got a good group, and we could qualify for the next World Cup. If they qualify for the World Cup, I'd run out of this house naked if Ireland if Ireland qualify for the World Cup. And don't hold me. Somebody's going to clip that. I know I shouldn't have said it. But yeah, for me, look, we've got to get behind the women as well as the men. Jared says, when Graham Roberts lifted the UEFA Cup, we finished 10th in the league. Yeah, we did. Big up to Wilton, a legend that is Wilton from Miami. Big up. How is the weather in Miami, Wilton? Let me know. Evening, Dermot. I am back in London, but the heat is... You're back in London, are you? Oh, big up to you, sir. The heat is unbearable. Yeah, it is a little bit humid. Gerard says, Archibald or Solanke? Archibald all day long. Sorry, I can say that without hesitation. Archibald all day long. Crooks or Peter Crouch? Crooksy all day long. Sorry, I love Peter Crouch. He scored the goal that got us into our first ever Champions League. This shows how far behind in the chat. I do apologize, guys. But for me, Crooksy all day long. Wilton says, I'm excited about the coming season. I think we all should be. I'm really excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for a preseason game on Saturday. I feel like I'm building up. By the time I get to Friday evening, I'm going to be absolutely bit like Christmas Eve. I'm going to be so excited. Wilton says, Darren Bent, or the worst striker. Yeah, Darren Bent. Pavlyuchenko. That's it. Big up to Gerard Saldano. Oh, yeah. He wasn't very good either. Big up to Keela. Right, gotta go. Start my stream. Good luck with the rest of the show. Remember to like and subscribe. Big up to you, Tequila. Thank you very much. Worst striker for me was Vincent Janssen. Always wanted it to work, but we never did anything. I know. It was a shame, Shawnee. Big up to Shamu Vandy Voo. Big up Shamu. Haven't seen any news and signing. Taking age. It's pre-season soon. Yeah, Saturday, Shamu. Saturday is back. Big up to Paul Brown. Good evening, Dermot. Hope you're feeling okay. I am feeling grand, man. I am ready. Getting in the mood now. I've done my pre-season warm-up. I've done my pre-season training. I'm now ready for the season ahead. First watch along. It's my first pre-season game. I'm getting there. I'm getting ready now. I'm ready for the whole season. Big up Shawnee. Just don't see him as a game changer, so why spend on him? I get it. Elliott's not Gibbs White level. Right. Gibbs White is going to be your number 8, right? Box-to-box player. I think that's where I would like to see Gibbs White play. I think Elliott in there as well. I think he does as a squad player. I think it makes a very good choice because he could play with Bergville. I think Elliott's not coming in as a starter. I think he's coming in as a main squad player. So he have a set of games announced, put ahead of him. So that's for me. That's what I think it's going to do. Bodo Glint on 1-up. Big up Bodo. Hope they do well. Tequila, hold him to it. Tequila's gone, thank God. Weather in Miami, end of July, sauna. I bet it is. And then we've got Archer. Georgie Rasky was pretty, yeah. Yeah, he was, to be fair. Guys, that is it. That's the end of the show. I haven't had any breaking news from any of the people I use, so it's been quite quiet. Oh yeah. Ryan get back to me. He's saying I was throwing my anything soft on my telly. Sorry about that, Rhino. Oh dear, you know I don't mean it. I know I think you are ready, but there you go. Such is life. I think if you're spending 40, you should look for a clear improvement or focus on position where we ain't bloated. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're bloated in centre backs. I think we do need a couple of midfielders. We need a striker as well. So desperately a striker. Guys, we are back. Big up to Sean. Yeah, thanks a lot, Sean. We are back tomorrow night 8 with more Spurs update, transfer update. I may do it on a topic tomorrow night. I've got to think what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but I will be there. Friday, we're back at 1 o'clock. Join me and Mr. Dave Harris, the Irish Hotspur, as Irish lads talk Spurs on Friday. Of course, we're back on Friday night. Me and Steve are back on Friday night, of course, with Newsbeat. Saturday, we've got Steve and his lunchtime show. I'm hoping to join Steve for that as well, if Steve will have me on. So I'm hoping to join him for that. Very quickly, then that will lead on to the watch along, of course, on Saturday. We are away to Reading, the first watch along of the 25-26 season. And then Sunday, I'm having a day off. And then Sunday night, during the day, I'm having a day off. Sunday night at 10 o'clock Irish time, I think it's 6 o'clock American time. It's Football Till We Die. The first episode of our new podcast. Me and Steve are doing. I think Paul's joining us as well on Friday, and I think Rhino's joining us for one of the shows. I don't know which show he's joining us for. But guys, do hit a like button. Do hit the subscription button if you can, guys. Thank you all for watching. It's been a great stream. I've enjoyed it, and I like doing these solo streams. Lets me sort of interact with you guys more, and just to get you guys to think how I really do feel about it. But look, back tomorrow at 8. Thank you all for watching. Come on, you Spurs. In Thomas Frank we trust. We never give up. It's going to be Spurs all the way. Can't wait. Come on.
Far and wide, with the pride of the fight on this journey.